Okay, so, I think before we actually start working on the questions, it would probably be better if I explain this section first. Because looking at what you wrote here, I think you understand most of the individual terms. You just don't really understand how they fit together, which is fine. I mean, that's actually a lot easier to fix than if you had absolutely no idea what any of this meant. So, here, let me borrow your pencil for a second. Thanks. Yeah. I am just going to draw this out because the diagram in the textbook is terrible, honestly. I don't know why they insist on making neuroscience diagrams look like subway maps. There's 6 different colors, everything is connected to everything, and somehow you're supposed to understand it. So, I get it. Don't worry though, I'll simplify it. The first thing you have to understand is that attention isn't really one single function. And that's important because people use the word attention as if it would mean only the one thing. Like, you either have attention or you don't. You are focused or you're distracted. But neurologically, it isn't that simple. Yeah, there are different systems involved depending on what you're doing. So, for example, you have sustained attention, which is your ability to maintain focus over an extended period of time. Pretty straightforward. Then you have selective attention, which is when there are multiple sources of information available to you, but you prioritize one while suppressing the others. And then there is divided attention, attentional shifting, executive control. There are more, but you don't need all of them for this. Don't panic. I saw your face. You're fine. Yeah, for the exam, the professor seems mostly interested in selective attention and the distinction between top-down and bottom-up processing. So if we focus on those first, then the rest should make more sense afterwards. Okay? Good. So top-down processing basically means that your attention is being directed by an internal goal. Like, right now, you decided that you need to pass this class. Presumably, you do want to pass, right? Okay, good. I was going to say, otherwise I'm wasting my energy. So because passing the class is your goal, you make the decision to sit here and study, even if studying this isn't necessarily the most interesting thing you could be doing. And your prefrontal cortex plays a pretty significant role in that because it's involved with executive control, planning, inhibition, maintaining goal-directed behavior, things like that. Yeah, so it's essentially helping you keep the relevant task active despite other things competing for your attention. You're still with me? Yeah? Okay, good. Then, bottom-up attention is, almost the reverse. Not literally reverse, that's probably a bad way of explaining it. But instead of you deliberately choosing where to direct your attention, something external captures it. Something happens and your brain goes, there it is. And before you really make a conscious decision about whether you want to pay attention to it, you do. So, for example, let's say we're sitting here and there's a loud crash outside. You're going to look, probably. Unless there's something wrong with you. That was a joke. Don't write that down. But you'd orient toward the sound automatically because sudden changes in the environment have potential behavioral relevance. It could be dangerous. It could be important. It could be just somebody dropping a trash can. But your brain doesn't know that until after you've already directed resources toward it. And that's where we're getting into salience. Yeah, let me spell it out for you. S-A-L-I-E-N-C-E. Salience. Salience. Do you have that? Okay, good. So salience is basically, how do I explain it without making it sound circular? Something is salient when it stands out enough to receive priority. But obviously saying salient things are the things that stand out isn't a very useful definition, so think of it more like behavioral relevance. Your brain is constantly receiving much more sensory information than it could possibly process in full detail. You have vision, you have sound, you have temperature, touch, smell, internal sensations. And if every one of those things received equal processing priority, you'd probably be completely incapable of doing anything else. So, information has to be filtered. Some things are suppressed, some things are amplified, and things that are novel, threatening, rewarding, emotionally significant, personally relevant, those generally have a better chance of capturing attention. Does that make sense? Sorry, what? Oh, my necklace. Yeah, thanks. I've had it for a while. I think I bought it when I was 16 or 17. It's an egg. I don't really remember. No, it's not real silver. I wish. Anyway, salience, right? That's where I was. Salience. That's what we were talking about. Try not to distract me as well, please. So, novelty, reward, threat, emotional relevance, and there are brain regions involved in assessing those things. And one network you're supposed to know for the exam is called the salience network, which includes, most notably, the anterior insula and the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. But you do not need to memorize every possible connection. Please don't. You'll make yourself miserable. But you should know those two. Okay, so write them down. Anterior insula, and dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. Can you repeat that back to me? Good. Again? Yeah, perfect. See? You know more of this than you think you do. You just need to organize it. Okay, right, so the anterior insula is involved in detecting information that is behaviorally relevant and helping coordinate switching between different large-scale brain networks. Again, I'm simplifying a lot. Because if we start discussing every proposed function of the insula, we're going to be here until tomorrow morning. And I have class at 8, so unfortunately, I hate morning lectures. I don't understand why anybody thinks I'm capable of learning at 8 in the morning. Well, I try to be physically present, but still. Sorry. See, this is what I meant. I ramble. Thanks, I guess. But you should mind a little because you're paying attention to this for a reason. And you're paying me, so... Anyway, something behaviorally relevant is detected. The salience network contributes to redirecting attention toward it, and that can interfere with whatever your current goal is. So if you're studying and something else becomes more salient than the textbook, your ability to actually encode the material is going to suffer. You might still technically be reading. Your eyes could move across every line, but there is a difference between visual exposure to words and actually processing what they mean. Which is why people sometimes get to the bottom of a page and suddenly realize they remember absolutely none of it. You ever do that? Yeah. Everybody does, especially when they're tired or stressed or distracted. Actually, speaking of that, can you look up here for me? Right here. Yeah, my face. Because you keep... Never mind. Here. Here. Look at the diagram. So, the professor might give you a scenario and ask whether the attentional shift is primarily top-down or bottom-up. For example, if you're searching for your friend in a crowded room, that is mostly top-down. You have a representation of what you're looking for. Hair, color, clothing, face, whatever. And that goal biases processing toward matching stimuli. But if somebody suddenly screams from the other side of the room, you orient toward that sound, bottom up. Yeah, because the stimulus captures your attention regardless of what you were looking for. Pretty simple once you separate them, right? Okay, then tell me, if you were looking for your keys on a cluttered desk, top down or bottom up? Top down, good. You're deliberately searching. If your phone suddenly vibrates next to you, bottom up, good. If you deliberately listen for your name in a conversation across the room, that's a little trickier. Because you have a top-down goal to monitor for a specific stimulus, but then the stimulus itself may produce attentional capture once detected. So sometimes these classifications aren't completely clean. But, biology doesn't really care whether our exam questions have convenient answers. Fortunately, professors do, so for the test, just go with what they are obviously trying to ask. Don't overthink it, and that's... Are you listening? Hey. Hi. I'm up here. Yes, I know you're looking at me. That is kind of the problem. Could you look at the notes while I'm explaining them? Please? Because I can't really tell whether you're following any of this. No, it's okay. I'm not mad. It's just... You've been very quiet. And every time I look up, you're looking at somewhere else instead of what I'm pointing at. So I'm starting to wonder whether I'm explaining this badly or I'm boring you. You understand it? Okay. Well, that's good. That's actually reassuring. Because for a second I thought maybe I was just talking to myself. Which I probably am, but hopefully it'll stick somewhere in your brain. Let's check. What is the salience network doing? Go ahead. It's fine if you get it wrong. You don't know. Okay, that's fine. That's why we're studying. Let's go over it again. So, my lipstick. What about it? Oh, thanks. It's just black. I mean, technically it's called something like funeral wail. Or maybe it's widow's kiss. I didn't check, but anyway, I just like how it looks. So, thanks. That's nice of you. But, can we focus? Because if you fail this test after I spend 2 hours tutoring you, I don't know if they'll be docking this from my pay, so... Salience network, again. Anterior insula, dorsal anterior cingulate. They contribute to detecting relevant stimuli and reallocating attentional resources. And... You're doing it again. Look down. Here. Thank you. I don't know what is so interesting over here. Me. Very funny. Notes. So they facilitate switching between... Okay, no. Hold on. Look at me. Yeah, look at me. Actually, no, you were already doing that. I want you to answer something. And please don't just say yes because you think that's what I want to hear. Have you actually been listening to me? Some of it. Some. How much is some? That's not reassuring. Okay. What did I just explain? Anything. You can summarize it. Come on. You've been sitting here for 47 minutes. Give me one sentence. Right. Okay. So you haven't been listening. Why? No, you're not bad at this. I can tell you understand the material when you actually engage with it. That's almost making this worse, you know? Because now I know it's not that you're lost, you're just not paying attention. Are you tired? Hungry? You haven't touched your phone, so something in the room? Me? What do you mean me? No, I heard you, just what about me is distracting you? Don't shrug. You can give me a slightly more specific answer than that. My face. Okay, my face, right. Why? Because you think I'm pretty. Oh, well, thank you. Very flattering, I suppose. Still, that isn't exactly helping your exam. So maybe, we could save the compliments until after the study session. Because right now I'm trying to get you through this chapter. I'm serious. Okay. Let's try again. Eyes here. On the page this time. Good. Okay. Top down attention is goal directed. Good. Bottom up. Stimulus driven. Good. And salience. Behavioral relevance. Good. See? This is what I mean. You can do it. You just need to actually... Your eyes moved. I saw that. They went directly back to me, again. Don't say sorry and then do it again 10 seconds later. Just look at the notes. There. Where was I? So, the interior insula. Oh my god. You aren't even trying now. You're trying. Really. Because I'm beginning to develop a very different definition of effort. Here, maybe this is easier. Yeah. I'll sit a little closer so I can point things out without leaning over you every 30 seconds. There, now, this paragraph, read the first 2 sentences. And your head is fine. Go ahead. Keep going. Why did you stop? Huh? My perfume, you cannot be serious. You were supposed to be reading. And now you're commenting on how I smell. No, I'm not offended, okay? Nice, cool, you like it, thank you. I'm glad. Can you please read the paragraph? Thank you. Okay, done? Good. So, what did it say? Nothing. You got nothing. Okay, right. I think we're done pretending this method is working. You wish. No, I don't mean we're stopping. I'm not letting them dock my pay just because you did S on your exam, okay? I mean, I'm changing how we're doing this. Because apparently putting a textbook in front of you and asking you to focus has not produced especially convincing results. Yeah, sit back. Sit back. Don't talk back. Just sit back. I want to try something. Further. Yeah, against the back of the couch. There. Good. No, I'm not leaving. I'm going to keep you bent down like that. I'm trying to figure out whether you genuinely cannot control where you're looking or whether you simply don't feel like controlling it. So, look at me. Good. Good. Maybe you'll focus if I have you bent down like this. What do you think? I asked you a question. Speak up. Good. Good, I think so too. I think so too. Yeah. Perhaps I am experimenting on you. You should be honored. Let's see how effective tutoring is while the student is being pinned down. Okay. Let's see, where were we? What is it? Why are you looking at me like that? You know, I was actually worried. I thought I wasn't explaining it properly. I thought maybe I was confusing you. I was sitting here mentally going through different ways I could simplify the material, because I didn't want you leaving more confused than when you arrived. And the entire time, you were just looking at me. That's a little annoying, don't you think? Huh? Cute? No, don't do that. Don't call me cute when I'm irritated. It is also irritating, okay? Now, tell me what selective attention is. Partially. Again. Better. Prioritizing one stream of information while suppressing competing information. Good. Now, what are you supposed to be prioritizing right now? The lesson. Yes. Good. And what are you actually prioritizing? Me. Exactly. So, your selective attention is functioning perfectly well. You're simply choosing the wrong target. Or, no, actually that's not quite correct. Because if I'm sufficiently salient to you, then some of that selection may be occurring before deliberate control. Which would mean that technically this is an excellent demonstration of the material. You're not getting extra credit for being distracted by your tutor, okay? Group partner, fine. Group partner who is tutoring you because you apparently stopped understanding the lectures 3 weeks ago. Better? Anyway, maybe we can use it. Since apparently I am the only one in the room capable of holding your attention. Look at me. Good. Now answer the question. What is bottom-up attentional capture? Good. Again. Very good. And what kind of stimulus can become salient? Novel, threatening, rewarding, emotionally relevant. Yes, personally significant, good, attractive. What is wrong with you? Do you really find me attractive? Okay. Fine. Let's say you do. Let's say you do find me attractive for unknown reasons that I do not want to uncover. You shouldn't find someone like me attractive, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, I don't do relationships. And number 3, you have an exam coming up that you have to study for. And I'm being paid for your grade, okay? So I'd really appreciate if you could just focus and stop babbling nonsense. Because if you actually knew me, you wouldn't find me attractive, okay? Anyway, focus. Next question. What role does executive control play in attention? No, think. Now don't look at me for the answer. The answer isn't written on my face. Although apparently that's the only textbook you've been studying tonight. Shut up, nerd. Sorry, came out more aggressively than I intended. Okay, since apparently this is the position that finally has your undivided attention, we're going to finish the lesson like this. Yes, I'm serious. You wanted to look at me, fine, look. But you're going to listen at the same time, understood? Good. And from now on, whenever you answer correctly, I'll give you a kiss on the forehead. I didn't ask for your opinion. Keep it to yourself and just do as I say. Good. Let's test it. What is the difference between top-down and bottom attention? Good. Good. You're learning. Selective attention. Good. Salience network. Good boy. And, what does it do? The salience network. Very good. Very good. See? You suddenly remember everything. How miraculous. So this entire evening wasn't a teaching problem. It was a discipline problem. Oh, you don't like that word? No. I think you do. You just get very quiet. Look at me. Not my lips, my eyes. There, good boy. If I'm going to tutor you again, we're establishing a rule. When I tell you to focus, you focus. When I ask you a question, you answer. And if you get distracted, you tell me. Okay. Understood? Use words. Good. And just so we're clear, you can still tell me to move at any point. You know that, right? Okay, good. If you want me off, you just say so. Otherwise, I'll be staying right here. Yeah, right here. And don't worry, I'm perfectly capable of making you pay attention. Yeah. Now let's continue where we left off.